Okay, everyone, we're gonna be making chili today. Every time I make chili, it's different. This is just like instead of getting all fresh spices, I'm just gonna whip it up really quick. This is my quick version of chili. Um, and yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. Each time I do it with different kinds of beans. For the whatever I have on hand is what I put in the pot. I happen to have some chili beans, so I'm gonna put those in. Got some tomato sauce. I'm gonna add some red beans in it. I like to add different types of beans. Chili beans are red beans. They're just flavored. They have different seasoning in them. Sometimes I put dark red, sometimes I put pinto beans, whatever I have on hand. And like I said, I'm gonna add this chili sauce mix in because I don't have all the spices I need, and it's just as easy. I got a cebolla, pimiento, onion and pepper, ajo. This is garlic. It's already chopped up for me. Convenience. Got some garlic salt, adobo, um, petite diced tomatoes, sazon, and some ground beef. Okay, so let's get this started. Okay, I just cut up some onion. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna have to do this really quick. I cut up some onion, about to cut up the pepper. I just opened up the meat. I put it in the pan. I'm gonna chop it up and start to fry it, or however, brown the meat. Okay, so I covered it and I chopped it up a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is brown this meat up a little bit. And I'm going to take and drain out some of the fat. This meat is not the highest quality of ground beef. It's definitely got a higher fat content. So as I brown it, some of the fat will come off the meat. And then I will drain it, and then I will add my seasonings and other things. I'll be back. Okay, so now the meat has cooked a little bit, and you can see there is a lot of fat through here. And you don't want to eat all that fat. That's disgusting. So what I'm going to do is let this cook for a few more minutes. I don't want it fully cooked because I still have vegetables to put in here. I'm going to let it cook for a minute or two more, and then I'm going to render the fat and then put it back in the pan. Right, so I rendered the fat, and you can see the meat is still just a little pink. So now that all the fat's gone, it'll cook up nicely. Still going to brown this for a few minutes, and I'm going to add the onions and peppers. Turn this down just a little bit. It's about a medium heat. It's a little too high. I don't want it to burn. I'm going to add 2 packages of this sazon, right? And I'll do that in a second. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic salt. I don't measure anything. I just kind of add it. Now, mind you, this is going to be a lot of food because it's got quite a few cans of things to put in it. A little bit of adobo. I'm going to mix all that in. And I'm going to let that cook a little bit. I'm going to add the, so I can't do it with one hand, but I'm going to add the sazon. And about, I don't know, 2 or 3, depending on how it looks, tablespoons of this chopped garlic or minced garlic. And I will be back. Okay, this is cooking nicely now. It's got a little color to it. I will mention, again, every time I make this, I have different stuff, whatever I have on hand. I usually try to get some cilantro or it's actually a weed that grows in Puerto Rico wild. It's called a ricao. It's in English you would call it Culantro, I think. I think it's culantro or something like that. You can find it in the like international markets and things like that here. I actually found it at Price Right locally. They do carry it there. Another thing that I often add in here is a can of corn. I like corn inside my chili, but I don't have it, so I won't be adding that today. Yeah. Back to the ricao, the cilantro. It has a very strong taste, and it's very, very similar to cilantro. So you could do one or both of them, and they can kind of be substituted for one another. They're very, very similar in taste. However, they do complement each other when you cook them together. But we won't be using that today because I don't have any on hand. Okay, great. So I rendered the fat, and you can see the meat is still just a little pink. So now that all the fat's gone, it'll cook up nicely. Still going to brown this for a few minutes, and I'm going to add the onions and peppers. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. It's about a medium heat. It's a little too high. I don't want it to burn. I'm going to add 2 packages of this sazon, right? And I'll do that in a second. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic salt. I don't measure anything. I just kind of add it. Now, mind you, this is going to be a lot of food because it's got quite a few cans of things to put in it. A little bit of adobo. I'm going to mix all that in. And I'm going to let that cook a little bit. I'm going to add the, so I can't do it with one hand, but I'm going to add the sazon. And about, I don't know, 2 or 3, depending on how it looks, tablespoons of this chopped garlic or minced garlic. And I will be back. Okay, this is cooking nicely now. It's got a little color to it. I will mention, again, I have, every time I make this, I have different stuff, whatever I have on hand. I usually try to get some cilantro or, it's actually a weed that grows in Puerto Rico wild. It's called a ricao. It's, in English, you would call it culantro, I think. I think it's culantro or something like that. You can find it in the like international markets and things like that here. I actually found it at Price Right locally. They do carry it there. Another thing that I often add in here is a can of corn. I like corn inside my chili, but I don't have it, so I won't be adding that today. Yeah. Back to the ricao, the cilantro. It has a very strong taste, and it's very, very similar to cilantro. So you could do one or both of them, and they can kind of be substituted for one another. They're very, very similar in taste. However, they do complement each other when you cook them together. But we won't be using that today because I don't have any on hand. Okay. Okay, now this meat is practically done. I think this is cooked pretty well. I'm turning that off, and what we're gonna do now is add the other ingredients. We're gonna put it all. I have a what do you call that? An Instant Pot or something like that. One of those all-in-one cookers, and that's how we're gonna finish off the meal. Usually, the next step I do is I start putting everything in my Instapot. But somebody cleaned my Instapot and they lost a piece to it. So we're going to be using a regular pan, which is fine. You just have to watch this a little more than what you would an Instapot. I don't use the Instapot for the chili as a pressure cooker. I use it more like a crock pot. So you could use a crock pot, or you could just use a regular stock pot, which is fine too. Okay, one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of olive oil in here. Just well, first of all, olive oil is awesome and it tastes awesome. Olive oil makes everything better. You put maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom, and then you're going to take the picadilla. That's what this is called. It's like a meat mixture. You're going to take the picadilla and you're going to put it in the pot along with other things. I have to do this one thing at a time. Like I said, I don't have a stand or anything, so I have to hold this as I'm doing it. So we'll do one step at a time. A little bit of olive oil. That's good. Next thing is the tomatoes. We're going to add those in, the whole can. Now, like I said, everything is based on your preference and your taste. You're gonna get the hang of it. You gotta make it a few times to figure out how you like it. This is when I usually would add everything else into the pot. The beans, the sauce, a little bit of sauce, the chili mix, yeah, tomato sauce. This can of beans has like this liquid in it, and it looks just nasty. So I usually take these beans, and I just rinse them out really well. Run them under cold water. That can of beans is the chili beans. Now this has a sauce in it, and you don't want to dump that because it's got some good flavor in it. So the chili beans, you just go ahead and pour the whole can in. I'm going to put 2 cans of chili beans in. I'm going to give it a good mix. As you can see, it's starting to look a little bit like chili now. One thing I'll mention is I forgot. I guess I'm not used to like cooking and recording at the same time. I forgot to add the sofrito. So this comes, you can get it frozen or in jars or whatever. It's very popular in a lot of Latina dishes. Anyways, I'm going to add a little bit of that, a few tablespoons of that to this as well. Thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the chili mix. So I added the chili mix, and now I'm going to stir it around. One thing you'll notice is I did not add any salt. One of the reasons, I have 2 reasons I didn't add salt. One reason is my husband has very, very high blood pressure. He's on medication for it, and he had a couple heart attacks. Well, he had 1 heart attack and a open heart surgery, triple bypass, yada, yada, yada. So I've got to watch the salt. Plus, all of the seasonings that I added to this have a tremendous amount of salt. Plus, canned goods in general have a tremendous amount of salt. But the sofrito, the recaito, I didn't use recaito. The sazon and the adobo and the garlic salt. Well, it's got plenty of salt in it. You don't have to add extra salt to it. Trust me when I tell you this. And don't be afraid to be a little light-handed in the beginning before you add all your seasonings. And feel free to taste as you go along. So basically, I'm going to turn this up until it like almost starts to bubble a little bit, because you want it to get extremely hot. And then I'm going to turn it down and simmer for about an hour. Right, so you can see it's starting to boil. It's pretty hot, actually. So now it's starting to look like chili. I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to turn it down low and let it simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for about an hour. Okay, so this cooked very, very nicely. Now all the juices came out of all the foods, and it's nice and yummy. It's about done. I forgot to tell you that you're supposed to stir it every now and then so that the bottom, it doesn't burn. I'm gonna leave it going on for maybe another 10 minutes just to get some of the liquid out. I'm gonna leave it uncovered, and you could see how much it cooked down, like from the sides. Oh my god, it smells amazing. Now, usually when I make this, like I had said earlier, I like to put it in a crock pot or the Instant Pot or whatever and put it on the slow cooker feature. And what I do is what's better, what's better with chili, the cornbread. So what I usually do is I get the Jiffy box mix of cornbread, or you can make cornbread yourself. It's easy. It's just cornmeal, flour, a little bit of milk and an egg, and you mix it together. Or you can buy the Jiffy mix and follow the recipe. I think it's basically the same thing. I think you add a little bit of milk and an egg in it. I don't remember. I could always go in there and see. But anyways, if this was the Instant Pot, I would make it. I would make the cornbread mix, and then I would put it on top of the chili by scooping it in, almost like dumplings. But it would cover the entire top, and then I would put the top on it, and I would cook it until it was finished. And what happens is it leaves a nice cornbread, like dumplings almost on top. Oh my God. And then when you take your spoon into it, and when you serve it, you put a little dollop of sour cream and some cheddar cheese. Girl, it is delicious. So basically that's my chili in a nutshell. But like I said, it comes out different every time. Usually I like to add some corn to it and some other things. So tell me what you think, and hopefully I'll be making you guys some more videos. Take care. Bye.